toggle those cursors. Alright, here we go. Only the finest of speed game would start off with an unskippable 36-second cutscene, especially in a Mega Man game. If somebody could just do a ROM hack of this game we could all play where it just removes this, it'd be fantastic. Intro stage is mostly just a straightforward deal. Pretty much just jump and shoot your way through. Get to play as Zero and use a saber. Well, you got me there, Doyson. It's not as bad as Sunshine. Not much is, as far as intros go. The only thing to really know about this stage, I'm not sure if... I don't think JP does the absolute optimal climb where you swing the saber to get a little extra height off of damage boosting with Zero. But Darren might, but I'm not sure. And obviously the boss fight, there is a specific order of shots you have to shoot him in, or an amount of shots. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Doesn't look like he doesn't do the damage boost strat either. JP has a very slight lead already. Looks like he's definitely been working on his gameplay since yesterday. He actually did PV. JP did PV just earlier by about 27 seconds, I believe. At one point, he was 2.5 minutes ahead of his run, but I believe he died to Sigma. About a 2-second lead for JP so far. The intro boss is very similar to X2's intro boss in that he takes a boatload of damage from everything you do. 2 from Lemon, 3 from Green Shot, and 4 from a full charge shot. The quickest way to go about killing him is to start off with a full charge shot and hit him with green shots until the very last shot where you want to do another full charge shot, and then I'll kill him. Largely made up a little bit of time against JP there. Pretty much exactly the same. And the first stage we're going to be going to is Blizzard Buffalo, the oh so wonderful obligatory ice stage. Thankfully, the ice physics in this game will work very much to your advantage. If you notice, using the slopes to just maintain that speed as long as possible saves a lot of time. And that actually already caught darrenville up, and he now has a slight lead over JP since he used the slopes just a little bit better. Mostly just, it's much like most of the run, this is largely a very straightforward stage. The only thing you need to make sure you get is that one little gap jump on that first ladder back there, because if you don't, you're going to take a hit from that enemy, which loses about a second. It's not the end of the world, but it's still really annoying when it happens. And obviously you really don't want to miss the jump to the capsule. That you have to spend about 5 years trying to get back up there, and it sucks. It's interesting to note that in RTA you do get the boots, which does add a few new movement options, the air dash and the vert dash. But the TAS actually does not get the boots. I believe it does the low percent climb, I think. I actually don't remember. I'll need to rewatch that. But for RTA, that's not really a viable thing. Well, unless you're doing specifically low percent. So the boots are mostly gotten for a few little movement options and to do the saber climb later in the second Doppler stage, but you will see that far later in the run. Darrenville almost having a little bit of a goof up. You know, he's alternating shots, if you notice, between lemons and full charge shots on Buffalo. That is known as the CFO strat, named after the intro boss of X2 where it was first used. And on Buffalo, that actually saves about 3 or 4 seconds over what JP did. If you notice, he's now quite a bit ahead compared to what he was. And now we are off to Seahorse, which can be a bit of a killer stage, as you'll see in a little bit with this climb. Hetfield has lovingly nicknamed it the climb where men are made, which can't argue with that. This is not an easy part of this stage. A bit of a drop vert there, it looks like. One thing to note about X3 is that there actually is a glitch. Oh, it looks like JP's actually going to get the heart tank. Doesn't want to repeat it yesterday, he's just going to be careful with it. There is a very bad glitch with X3's movement and inputs, where the first frame after you let go of a D-pad input, the game will not register any other control inputs at all. So it will just completely not register you firing, jumping, dashing, or doing anything. And that doesn't seem like much, but it is a horrible nightmare, because it can get you killed in a lot of places. It won't happen super often, but it is extremely annoying. So JP opting to go with the Buster strats, while Darren used the weakness of the mid-boss, which is Ice. Leaves him, it kills the boss quicker, but it also leaves him with less ammo to deal with the quick kill. Drop vert dash there on Seahorse, which is very heavy abuse of glitched invulnerability frames after you hit him with weakness, which several bosses have that in this game, or at least have some sort of invulnerability glitch. A bit of a strange vert there. That tends to happen sometimes. JP with about a 10-second lead, or about a 9-second lead. And what happens with Seahorse here, if you'll notice, oh, he actually missed a shot there, that was weird. Ooh, he needs to be careful. Okay, he's going to use the granny strats. There he goes, and if you notice what's happening with him is that they're mashing him down very quickly. His health is just going down. And that is because, depending on how high you hit him, is how long he's vulnerable for. But if you hit him with his ice weakness, it actually glitches his iframes for some reason, and for the latter half of them or so, he's completely vulnerable to taking damage every single frame. Meaning, you can just completely destroy him. Like, I think the best I've seen is people have gotten down 3/4 of his health in a single cycle. And the higher you hit him with that initial shot that stuns him, the longer he's vulnerable for. So generally you want to get him at the very, very crown of his jump. Another wonderful unskippable cutscene that lasts 6 years. Oh, Darren. Darren with an accidental stage select there into Beetle. That's not the end of the world, but you definitely don't want to go here this early, because you really want the spinning blades, Crawfish's weapon, to deal with all of the enemies here, because it kills all of them in one hit. This is going to be a major blow. He also does not have Gravity Beetle's weakness, which is the level where JP is at right now. You need Tiger's weapon to kill Beetle. But thankfully Beetle, despite hitting like a tank, he doesn't exactly pose much of a threat. You can just reset, and it will store your password from the last completed level. But I guess Darren just wants to play it through. He doesn't really seem to care much enough to reset. JP getting a quick 2-cycle on the mid-boss. It is possible to kill the Tiger mid-boss there in 1 cycle. It is somewhat precise. Other than just resetting and using the password that it automatically stores, there is no way to exit a stage if it's not beaten already. Thankfully, Darren actually seems to have had a fairly good stage, despite given the circumstances at least. It's definitely a bit of a bad mistake, but it's not the worst you could possibly make. He could accidentally go into, say, Hornet first or something like that, which would be a disaster, because that boss is really hard with Buster. And he'd have to deal with the ship that appears. And that's the big part of fighting Beetle without his weakness, is that he can go into Rainbow mode, and he is completely invincible to any kind of damage, and it wastes forever, depending on how many times he does it. And it looks like it's pretty much very similar to Chill Penguin, actually, in his sliding. You can't hurt him in it, and it wastes a boatload of time. Once you get him past half health, he's actually a little quicker to deal with, since he jumps higher. You can just do a little bit more damage to him. They're not really having much trouble at all, despite the wrong stage select. JP, unfortunately, looks like he's taking a lot of hits, getting a bit of a bad pattern on Tiger. But he's not getting any dashes. As long as he keeps just looping like this, it's pretty much, he's good to go. It's like RNG pretty much saved JP there. He was taking quite a bit of damage, but that's where you want to go. Generally, you want, after Seahorse, you do want to go to Tiger or Rhino. If you're newer to the game, I would strongly suggest going to Tiger and getting him one of his hearts there, getting a heart tank in front of the boss room. At least until you memorize the stages and then emulate out as well enough to avoid them in Rhino, because the Rhino stage is very difficult to get through without taking a truckload of damage, which you really, really need to conserve your health for the mid-boss. Which we'll see if he actually gets bit here. He did not get bit in Beetle. He also did not get bit in Rhino, at least for Darren. Oh, that's not a hit you want to take, but JP has gotten 2 heart tanks now, I believe, so he could actually has much more leeway with this level to take damage, at least. It looks like he might have 3 hearts. Where's he gone to? No, he only has 2. I'm dumb. And now we see, oh, Darren accidentally switching to acid. The fastest method of killing the Rhino mid-bot. Oh, he might die here. Okay, just barely. The fastest method of killing that boss is exactly what you just saw there. It is to jump on his bottom half and just start mashing like there's no tomorrow. Like you ain't got no other business. If you're on low health, just pray he drops health, which he did not. And that means Darren has to be very careful on Rhino, because if you die on Rhino's stage, his fight becomes a million times harder. Very good movement from Darren there. Very nice from Darren. JP also making quick work of the Rhino mid. And one I need to know about JP, his mashing is ridiculous. He double mashes, and it's so amazingly fast. It's kind of shocking, actually. He has much more health than Darren has going into this fight. So, oh, this is JP's chance to pretty much completely catch up and overtake Darren here. Dying in a Rhino means that when you go back to fight Rhino, he's actually going to have... his complete AI is going to be unlocked, so he'll have more attacks. He'll start juking, just juking you like he's doing to JP here, far earlier in the fight. Bit of a dangerous move there, shooting that straight down like that, but I can respect it. And as you can see on JP, if you don't die in a stage, he just tends to ram back and forth. But if you do die in a stage, he'll start shooting just drills all over the place, diagonal drills, horizontal drills. He'll start juking in the middle of his drills. It's very weird. It's never fun. Neither of them getting bit either in this stage, which is very good. At least in my opinion. You generally don't want to fight bit here because that's more of a chance you're going to take damage that you need. I'm going to restart my stream real quick. And now JP is off to Catfish. They're roughly equal on... It may not seem like it, but they are about equal since Darren did accidentally go to Beetle, but he did beat him, so he does have the same amount of stages beaten. Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure what happened to the Dragonfly enemy there. I did not see it spawn at all. It's a little odd. JP playing much, much better than he was yesterday. Might see Darren get the one cycle on the boss here. Oh, nope, just barely missed it, actually. Which, it's not a huge time loss, it's about 2 or 3 seconds. But it's still 2 or 3 seconds you're losing. JP is going to get bit on Catfish, which is not the worst. You do want to have a lot of health for the Catfish fight, but there is a nice, easy, and quick to get health pickup right in front of the store. And JP very much mastered this fight. Pretty much a perfect fight. He has been practicing. He has very much been practicing since yesterday. A lot of this is smoothed over. Having the extra 2 hearts has definitely given him more leeway for damage too. One thing to note about Vile, if you'll notice, he will throw big orbs, and you'll see Darren try to jump into him and get a body contact hit instead of taking a hit from the orbs, and that is because those orbs do, I believe, 4 or 6 damage. I don't remember which one it is, but they do far more damage than a body contact, which is only 2. So you want to, if you have to take a hit, rush over to Bit and take a body contact hit because it's way less damage. You generally don't need to worry about your health too much in Tiger, but he can be a bit of a dick. The Bit and Bite locations are completely random. They're somewhat predetermined. Bit will show up on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th Maverick stage, and Bite will show up on the 6th, 7th, or 8th. What stage they show up in is completely random, though. Bit is guaranteed to show up by the 5th stage, and Bite is guaranteed to show up by the 8th stage. You're absolutely going to have to fight them, and the day someone finds a way to trick the game into thinking you've already killed them, it's going to be a glorious day. I will love that. Ooh, Darren taking another death on Tiger. Tiger doesn't change his AI at all on a death, but he was pretty far into the fight there, so JP has a very, very big lead here now. If I didn't know better, I would actually say that JP is more than likely on PB pace. He's playing very well. Looks like JP is immediately going to get Bite on the 6th stage. And Bite's also a very straightforward fight. Hit him with a lemon, start drilling him. There is a specific order to the drills that you can do where you won't have to pause and switch weapons that way, and it saves a little bit of time, but it's a little hard to time out, and JP has not been running the game long enough. He's actually only been running the game a couple of months, and he's only done a handful of complete runs. So he's learning very quickly how to deal with everything. And one thing to note about Bit and Bite is that you absolutely, under no circumstance, do you want to kill both of them with their weaknesses. Killing one is fine. You can eat that time loss. It is a 12-second time loss for the explosion that happens. But you want to hit them with their weakness until they're down low enough where you can just finish them off with a single buster shot. If you do end up killing both of them with their weaknesses, you are adding 24 seconds of explosion time, and you're going to have to fight the Press Disposer, which is an extremely difficult boss in Doppler 1. He is the alternate boss to... well, I'll just call him Godcar. His full name is insane. But he's a much, much harder boss than Godcar, who you'll be fighting otherwise if you do not kill Bit and Bite. JP now going to move on to the Vile fight, which he is making very quick work of. The general strategy for Vile is exactly what you're seeing. 4 full charge shots, and then finish off everything else with the Ray Splasher, which is his, well, he has 2 weaknesses, Ray Splasher and the S-Blades. But you don't have the blade at this point. And Splasher, you should have just enough ammo to completely finish him off. No, we did not miss a shot. That was strange. Okay, careful. There you go. And what that does, killing Vile with his weakness causes him to explode, which you'd think would lose time, but it all completely allows you to get the Saber later on in Doppler Stage 2, which is a massive time save. It allows you to completely just 2-shot every single boss from the point on that you get it, including Sigma. Fairly good fight for Darren on Catfish. Looks like he's going to get a 5-drill fight. There is a bit of RNG involved in it, but there is a way to manipulate Catfish into pretty much just hopping into the wall continuously like an idiot. And you can actually get him as low as a 1-drill fight. The only people I've seen do that personally are Just Incredible and Louise, which are both in this tournament, by the way. But it is very rare for anything lower than a 3-drill to happen, and even that's not terribly common. What you'll usually see is about a 4 or 5 drill. JP will be heading into the Crawfish fight in just a short little bit. And there is, much like Seahorse, Crawfish's iframes are glitched. You don't have to hit him in any specific way. As long as you hit him with the Triad Thunder, there is a 2-second, the last 2 seconds of his invulnerability frames do not function, so he can take damage on every single frame, which you'll see right there. Be a little bit careful though. You can actually just get flat out double hits on him with, oh, you gotta be careful there, JP. Oh. A little bit of a chance for Darren to make up a little time on JP there. I don't think anyone can do that, Crisis, I'm sorry. We've all grown out of that, unfortunately. It's one of the tragedies of becoming an adult. And if you look at JP, that is a perfect example of just how badly Crawfish's iframes are glitched. Just immediate, just a perfect 2-cycle on him. You can really just drain his health completely. That was a very, very nice quick kill. And JP is now moving on to the Beetle stage, which Darren has already completed, but JP will have a much easier time of it since he has the S-Blades for the enemies in the level. As you can see, the entrance to the level is much easier with that weapon compared to what Darren had to do. And he also has the weakness for Beetle, which completely negates any kind of RNG on Beetle. He is no longer able to do his rainbows as his weakness knocks him out of it. And it pretty much just... it puts him in an AI loop where he just jumps forward at you. That's all he does if you hit him with his weakness. That's one thing to know about this game and its bosses, is that every single boss in this has a loop in its AI if you hit them with their weakness, where they will just always do the same thing over and over and over again. And I mean every single boss, all the Mavericks do. I think the only one that doesn't is Sigma, but he's already on a set pattern anyway, so it doesn't matter. JP making very quick work of this stage. He's more than likely going to do the same for the boss, having a little bit of trouble getting up there. That ledge is giving him the business for some strange reason. See how Darren deals with the quick kill on Crawfish here. And you have a pretty good example of X3 boss design right here with Beetle. They're all like this. Darren is looking like he's actually going to get a much better quick kill first time around. He got a 3 cycle right there. Not quite the 2 cycle that JP got, but JP did die, so let's have that to contend with. He is about a full stage behind JP still, however. They are pretty much completely matched right now. They'll be going to the same stage, it seems like. Actually, no, they are dead even. This is a tied game. And just like that, the race has got good. Ooh, JP with the iceless style wall kick there. Very nice. Darren already taking a lead. I didn't even get a chance to see what Darren did to get such a lead so quick, but it's not a huge one. I'm not sure what this thing's name is, but I'll just call it the Saw Wheel, and it is the only mid-boss in the game that has functioning iframes. So you do have to space out your shots on it. You can't just spam him down like you can with the Rhino and Tiger mid-bosses, which is unfortunate. It just wastes time. But thankfully, it also dies in like 4 or 5 hits, so it's still a very quick fight. Actually, I don't believe Darren has fought Bite yet. Now that I think about it, so... and JP has. So yeah, JP is actually quite a bit ahead here. He went through that door at 28:31 when it closed. We'll take a look at where Darren is. Get a good idea of where he is. Not sure why Darren isn't just using the drills until he gets up to that last little bit of health, but to each his own, I suppose. And Darren is about 30 seconds on the dot behind JP right now, and JP is going to start having to deal with Hornet, which Hornet also technically has 2 weaknesses. Well, everyone's weakness is the S-Blades for whatever reason. However, it doesn't count as a weakness, so the iframes aren't there. So it just has really short iframes, so you can just really take him down very quick. The only thing you have to worry about on him is if you have low health going into the fight, he can kill you with the little mini-me's that he shoots out. Like a 29-34 kill for JP. Oh boy. Darren having a little bit of trouble getting up him, but not too bad. Fired those the wrong way. His second phase is much easier to get hits in on him, but it is more dangerous due to him firing out bees constantly. And now we move on to the fun parts. They both are done with the 9 maps, or 8 maps including Vial. And now we're going to move on to the Doppler stages, where everything can go very right or very wrong. There is no middle ground. You're either going to die 10,000 times, or you're going to PD. Which JP should have a little bit more leeway here, since he can take a little bit more damage than Darren can due to his 2 heart tanks. A little bit careful here with these walls. Oh goodness gracious. Those walls killed me many a time as a child. I don't even know what it is about them, but they just freak you out. Huge amount of lag from missing that little acid shot there from Darren. And what you want to do with this boss, believe it or not, it has the same name as the 3rd Sigma stage boss from Mega Man X1. It is like D-Rex, like 1000 or something. It just has numbers past its name. Usually, its weakness is spinning blades or ice. Ice kills it in 3 shots. Spinning blades, I believe, does the same. What you usually want to do is hit it with a full charge shot and then finish it off with ice. And when you finish it with ice, you want to be as far back to the right of the screen as possible, as it does force a cutscene where X will just lock instead of bashing. And JP's health here actually will, I believe, just about allow him to take a little bit extra damage from... Actually, no, I believe he cannot survive getting grabbed, but he can survive 2 saber shots. Which Darren, in his current situation, will get 1 shot by any attack from Godcar here. You just have to be careful when he's firing his fist out that you do not jump into them. Looks like JP is not doing too bad on this fight. He took a saber hit there. Easy does it. There you go. JP making quick work of Godcar. Much smoother than what happened yesterday. Which I believe he game overed on it twice. He made it very sure to practice this. Darren also having a good fight so far, which can very much end if you get grabbed, but doesn't look like that's going to be a problem for Darren. A very noticeable lead for JP, but this is arguably the hardest stage in the entire game for any percent, as every single enemy does 2-shot you. At the very least, 4-shot you. The big red dudes there take off, I believe, 8 damage. But this is also the stage where Darren's actually making up quite a bit of time here. This is where you switch to 0, he dies, and you get the Z-Saber. Well, he doesn't die. He dies about as much as he's died in every other game. And this stage also is where you do the elevator climb with the Saber, which is, I don't care what anyone tells me, is by far harder than the 100% climb in my opinion. I could never learn it. And it really will come down, they're close enough to where it will come down to who gets the Saber climb first. Ooh, oh no. Wow, he humped 0 for quite a bit, but he actually did not deviate off course at all, it looked like. Oh, dropping a little bit of revert there, that's okay though. JP is going up to the Saber climb here. So he missed the first Saber actually. There you go. And the Saber climb is a sequence of damage boosts and Saber neon jumps where you can completely skip riding the snails by doing it. You see JP making very quick work of that. Very nice. Oh, Darren. And now you see the danger of the saber climb with Darren. He also game overed, so he is going to have to go through the whole stage and fight the mosquito again, which sucks. That takes forever. So JP has taken a commanding lead now. And you can see just how hard the enemies hit here, as he got hit once and half of his health is gone. Welcome to Mega Man X3. Everything kills you in 2 hits. It's not fun. It's fun until it's not. JP will now be moving on to the Saber Rush, which in any percent is far shorter than 100%. And this is a very rare sight. Oh my goodness, wow. That thing kills you instantly. Very, very rare to have to fight that thing with X in a speedrun, unless you do game over. I've actually did not know how hard that thing hit. I thought that was just Zero being a glass cannon, but apparently, my goodness, X got completely wrecked. Oh, poor Darren. He's having a bit of a rough go of it right now. It is good to note that Darren actually only started running this game a couple of weeks ago. He had never even played it, I believe, beforehand, and he actually has a 42 flat already, which is an extremely good time. JP making use of weapon swapping off of the saber to start charging it quicker, just to get those sabers out that little extra bit faster. Dropping the vert there. Those things have a tendency to drop for some strange reason. Pretty much just be chalked up to this game being good. There you go. JP is absolutely on fire with this right now. He actually missed. There you go. Oh no! He actually did get the climb, but one of the hellets bonked him. That's a very rare occurrence, actually. I would say that this is definitely JP's win now, but Sigma does still exist, and JP actually has died to Sigma several runs in the past. Which, again, Sigma's another one of his bosses that can two-shot you. Well, in JP's case, he can survive more than 2 hits on him, since he did get those extra hearts. Unfortunately, Beetle is giving him the worst RNG possible. Darren finally getting a saber climb and getting up there. Unfortunately, getting the missile spawns, so there's a lot of slowdown there, but no big deal for Darren. There are quick kills that you can do with Seahorse, Seahorse and Crawfish in the Saber Rush that are unique to the Saber Rush, that involve using the same iframe glitch, but hitting them with a saber to one-shot them with it. However, Seahorse's is very precise. Crawfish's is fairly easy to do. I'm not sure if JP has practiced that yet. Yes, this game originally Delta was for the SNES. It was later re-released on the PS1 and Sega Saturn. It is also on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube through the Mega Man X collection. Actually, looks like Darren. Oh no, didn't quite get it. He's not jumping over to the wall to bait the hand throw, the claw throw out of Crawfish. Is the only reason he did not get that. And the middle thing he just hit is an item spawn. It is the only item spawn in the game where you can't guarantee an item drop from it. Outside of if you hit with a saber, it will always drop a 1-up. Always will drop a 1-up on a saber hit. It has a tendency to drop a large health if you use Triad Thunder, but it's still not a complete guarantee. I believe Ice also seems to have a better chance to spawn that, which, like what you just saw, he got a big health from that when he used Triad. You notice Darren actually hitting Buffalo with a saber while facing away from him. And that is actually the quickest way to hit with the saber, is to hit while you're facing away. Unfortunately, JP seems to have gotten a wonderful little glitch. There is an invisible saber glitch in this where I don't exactly know how it works, but I'm just going to try and remember what I heard. I believe it's if you try and use the saber, either the frame that you hit the ground or the frame that you leave the ground on a jump. It will, the next swing you do will just be invisible. He'll just swing the hilt at him. JP now done with all of the refights. Moving on to the Doppler fight. And if he gets a first try Sigma fight, he could actually get a large PB off of this. Looking at about a 44 or so. Which his current PB, I believe, is 46.12 or 46.14. I don't remember which one of those two it is. But he can save well over 2 minutes on the Sigma fights. As, like I said, he did PB earlier, but he did die in them. Making very quick work of Doppler. If he gets a first try Sigma, this could be a 44 or 45 time for him. I would say a 44. Darren actually getting the Seahorse quick kill. It's a good example to show you of that. Which is something I really personally need to learn because I feel stupid not doing it. Oh, having a little bit of trouble getting on that ladder there, JP. There you go. JP moving up to the Sigma fight. Let's see if he gets this first try. Looks like Darren is also going to get the Crawfish quick kill, so he was able to show off both of those quick kills. Unfortunately, seems to have missed that. He did get Sigma there. I'm not sure if he picked up a sub-tank or not. I believe he can take one direct hit bonk. However, he cannot take a hit from the missiles that Sigma fires out. So he does need to be a little bit careful, but he does have some leeway. A direct bonk on Sigma in his final form does 8 damage. And the missiles do 14 damage. They do the most of any attack in the game. Darren is having a little bit of trouble with Tiger here. Thankfully, Darren did have a sub-tank, so he definitely has a little bit of leeway here. Just be a little... JP. JP, unfortunately, taking a death on Kaiser Sigma, which means he's going to have to go and fight Sigma's first form again. So it doesn't look like he's going to actually be able to PB anymore. He could definitely still win the race. It's definitely a fight you do need to practice to get used to his strange hitbox because it extends way farther out than it would seem. But he is very easy to hit once you know how to do it. JP is actually missing a little health here. Not sure how. I forgot to jump there. If you'll notice, Sigma's Fireball there only did 2 damage as opposed to the 6 or 8 that it did last time. For whatever reason, when he jumps up and hovers in midair and fires backward like that, if you get hit by the Fireball before it's... Actually, he could still PB off this, I believe. If you get hit by the Fireball before it hits the wall, it only does 2 damage instead of 8 for some reason. Not quite sure why that is, other than it's X3. This game's weird, and it's just stupid and weird. Way too early there. Look at those sick dodges, though. Wow, that was actually a good kill. It actually is looking like this is going to be a PB for JP. It's going to be a 45. Which that is the power of a at least decent Sigma fight. It takes, I don't remember exactly how long, around 20 seconds due to the lag to climb this. So it looks like this is going to be about a half-minute PB for him. Which he's already passed all the dangerous parts. Actually, no, it's almost a minute. And that is a PB for JP at a 45.26. RaceBot giving him a time of 45.27, so very accurate on the splits there. And Darren is now moving on to the Kaiser Sigma fight, which is opting to take a hit in the mine there instead of Kaiser, getting a very, very nice little saber there to get the final hit on Kaiser. There's actually a bit of a thing that may not have been a PB. Technically, since JP did not move forward until he lost control, that might not have actually been a PB anymore. Don't do that, JP. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna sit there and deny you it. You were like literally a step in front of it. I mean, I'll still count it personally, because like, who cares? It's not like you're gonna try and get world record off of it. But you want to be careful about not doing that. Darrenville finished up with a time of, what's the RaceBot say? 46.42. A bit of a rough one. Very solid from JP and Darren. Darren having a few hiccups in there, unfortunately. JP also having an unfortunate death to Sigma. But that is perfectly okay. I haven't said it before. Remember to go and follow both of these runners. Do it right now. Darren with the amazing new route of going to Gravity Beetle third. This is the new meta. This is the new meta. Technically speaking, Darren actually did complete the game first. So I am not 100% sure on that. Since JP did not move forward all the way to lose control. I'm not sure if that would count as Darren winning since he did first or not. Oh, was JP first anyway? Okay. Yeah, but do-over. Run it back, son. So either way, it looks like, according to Nordrun, he did move X over to lose control of him. So JP, either way, did win the race. And I say again, remember to follow both of these runners. As I know JP is going to be rapidly improving his time, and so is Darren. Darren has barely ran the game and has a 42 flat already. The same goes for JP, who has been rapidly improving despite having only done a few completed runs. Either way, that is about the end of that for me, at least. Thank you all for watching, and check when the next match here is. Where is the schedule? There it is. And the next match isn't until the 12th, and that is, oh, it's actually me and Nordren are going to be having a match on the 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then there is another match that same day at 6 p.m. Eastern, which you can see on the schedule if you look down below. Or there is also a schedule command, I believe. That is about it for me. Thank you for watching. I'm Laseki, and I'm very bad at video games.